This course is the most important course in our entire course catalog. Think about it. If you're not productive, you're not going to be successful. Why? Why? If you're not productive, you're never going to be able to take the massive action needed to achieve your goals. Take academic writing as an example. If you're not productive, you will never be able to make the many tries necessary to open an account. If you're not productive, you will never write enough papers to make legendary amounts of money. This particular productivity course is revolutionary in that it teaches you to work both smart and hard. Here's what you will learn in this productivity course: how to become superhuman by building habits, the importance of measuring time and the tool to use to measure the time, how to stop watching one more YouTube video and focus once and for all, how to read a book a day without sitting down to actually read, how to use deadlines to get more done faster, and many more productive hacks. Happy learning, and see you on the other side. Thank you. Hello, it's Kenneth Maya again from the Online Billionaire. In the last video, we talked about the game of number strategy and how you can use it to open any academic writing account. If you haven't watched the part 2 video, check it out before proceeding. Seriously, what we discussed in part 2 is life-changing, and it's only available for a limited amount of time. In this part 3 video, I'm going to share with you a tip that will help you join the top 1% of writers who make legendary amounts of money. It's simple. If you want to write over 20 pages a day and make legendary amounts of money, change your keyboard layout. Seriously, change your keyboard layout. What do I hear? Too simple, you say? Think about it. If you're typing 5 words a minute, and I'm typing 45 words a minute, the difference in the number of pages we can write per day is night and day. Let me tell you a little story about the QWERTY keyboard and why you should abandon it today. A long time ago, when typewriters were still a thing, there used to be a large variety of keyboard layouts. Each typewriter company literally had its own keyboard layout. During the typewriter days, one limitation guided keyboard layout design. Keys that were frequently pressed together had to be placed in separate positions. Reason? Typewriters were manual machines. Frequently pressed keys placed close together ended up getting jammed or stuck. So, there was this guy called Remington, who was the owner of one of the most popular typewriting companies. The Remington typewriters used the QWERTY keyboard designed by a guy called Christopher Latham Schultz. So the QWERTY layout made by Remington was really robust. Why? It did a very good job of keeping keys that were frequently pressed as far apart as physically possible. That's why, by the way, if you notice, when you're typing using a QWERTY keyboard, your fingers are flying all over the place. So Remington was quite the marketer. So through a combination of showmanship and gutsy salesmanship, he managed to dominate the entire typewriting company. So let's fast forward to today. Typewriters are long gone. In their place, we have laptops, we have PCs, we have smartphones. The keyboards in all these devices are not mechanical. As such, the keyboard keys no longer get jammed or stuck. Continuing to use the QWERTY keyboard layout is totally unnecessary and just plain dumb. When you use the QWERTY keyboard, what happens? When you use the QWERTY keyboard, there's repetitive finger movement. This is repetitive finger movement. 1, it will hurt your wrist. 2, it will hurt your fingers. 3, it will slow you down as you have to move your fingers a lot. You've decided you're no longer going to use the QWERTY keyboard. So what keyboard layout options do you have? So there are two new keyboard layouts. One is called the Colmar keyboard layout. The other is called the Dvorak keyboard layout. If you switch to any of the above keyboard layouts and teach yourself to touch type, before you know it, you'll be typing 20 pages a day with ease. I know, there are still many questions you have that I haven't answered. For example, how do you switch your keyboard layout over to Colmac Dvorak? Number 2, what is touch typing and what tools you use to learn touch typing? I also haven't discussed other ways to increase your productivity. For example, how do you stop yourself from watching one more YouTube video? How do you create a workspace that encourages you to be productive? What habits should you cultivate to become superhuman? And how should you plan and manage your time? In the last video of our 4-part series, I will tell you exactly where to go to find answers to the pending questions and to learn even more productivity tips. If you haven't watched part 1, if you haven't watched part 2 of this life-changing video series, well, dude, what are you waiting for? The videos are only up for a limited amount of time, so go and watch them right now. Watch out for the last part of our 4-part video series. In this last part, I will be pointing you to a resource that you can find all the answers to unanswered questions raised in part 1, in part 2, and in part 3. Thank you for choosing to be a part of the Online Billionaire community. Hello, it's Kenneth Maya again from the Online Billionaire. So, in the last video, we talked about the game of numbers strategy and how you can use it to open any academic writing account. If you haven't watched the part 2 video, check it out before proceeding. Seriously, what we discussed in part 2 is life-changing, and it's only available for a limited amount of time. In this part 3 video, I'm going to share with you a tip that will help you join the top 1% of writers who make legendary money. It's simple. If you want to write over 20 pages a day and make legendary amounts of money, change your keyboard layout. To simply say, think about it. If you are typing just 5 words a minute, and I'm typing 45 words a minute, the difference in the number of pages you can write per day is night and day. There's no way you can catch me. Let me tell you a quick story about the QWERTY keyboard and why you should abandon it today. So a very, very, very long time ago, when typewriters were a thing, there used to be a large variety of keyboard layouts. Each typewriter company had its own keyboard layout design. So during those typewriter days, one limitation guided keyboard layout design. Keys that were frequently placed together had to be placed in separate positions. Reason? Typewriters were manual machines. So if frequently pressed keys were close together, they ended up getting jammed and stuck. And each time someone had to come in and stuck the edge of the Remington typewriters. So there used to be a guy called Eliphas Remington, who was an owner of one of the most popular typewriting companies. So the typewriter used the QWERTY design developed by Christopher Latham Schultz. So the QWERTY keyboard layout did a very good job of keeping frequently pressed keys as far apart as physically possible. As a result, the Remington keyboard was one of the most robust typewriters out there. But that's why when you're typing using the QWERTY keyboard, your fingers are just flying all over the place, because that's how they were designed. So Eliphas Remington was quite the marketer. Through a combination of showmanship and just gutsy salesmanship, he managed to dominate the entire typewriter company. Fast forward to today, typewriters are long gone. In their place, we have slick laptops, personal computers, and smartphones. The keyboard in those PCs, laptops, and smartphones are no longer mechanical. As such, the keyboard keys no longer get jammed or stuck together, yet they continue to use the QWERTY keyboard. Well, continuing to use the QWERTY keyboard layout is just unnecessary and plain dumb. When you use a QWERTY keyboard, 2 things happen. 1, the repetitive and the unnecessary finger movement will lead to wrist and finger injury. 2, the repetitive and unnecessary finger movement slows you down. Your typing speed will just be slow. So what keyboard layout should you change over to? There are 2 new, faster, and more efficient keyboard layouts. The first one is called the Colmac keyboard layout, and the second one is called the Dvorak keyboard layout. If you switch to any of the above two keyboard layouts and teach yourself how to touch type, well, you'll be typing out 20 pages of academic writing work before you know it. I know. There are questions that I haven't answered. For example, how do you switch over your keyboard layout to Colmac or Glovac? What is touch typing and what tool should you use to learn touch typing? I also haven't discussed other ways to increase your productivity, like how do you stop yourself from watching one more YouTube video? How do you create a workspace that just encourages you to be productive? What habits should you cultivate to become superhuman? And how should you plan and manage your time? In the next video, our last video by the way, I will tell you exactly where to go to find answers to all those pending questions and to learn even more productive tips. If you haven't watched part 1, if you haven't watched part 2 of this life-changing video series, well, what are you waiting for? The videos are only up for a limited time, so go and watch them right now. Watch out for the last part of our 4-part video series. In this last part, I will be pointing you to a resource where you can find all the answers to the unanswered questions raised in part 1, in part 2, and in part 3. Thank you for choosing to be a part of the Online Billionaire community. Hello, it's the Online Billionaire again. So, in the previous lesson, we had talked about the different keyboard configurations and why you should switch from QWERTY to either the Colmac keyboard layout or the Drover keyboard layout. So, if you already know how to touch type, then switching over to Colmac is easy. But if you're starting touch typing from scratch, well, then you might want to consider moving over to Drover. So here's the deal. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your computer such that the keyboard layout is in Colmac. Two tools. We're going to need two tools. The first one is the Colmac keyboard layout utility from colmac.com, and the other one is Sharps Key, the Sharps Key utility from randyrants.com, the developer of Sharpkey. Okay, so here's how to download the Colmac layout utility app. Go to colmac.com, click download, pick your operating system, in our case it's Windows, and just click download it. It's a relatively small app. It will be done downloading it in a short while. Once you're done downloading it, extract it and just run it. Perfect. You repeat the same thing for Sharpkey. Go to sharpkey.com, download the utility as an MSI app and install it. Well, once you're done with installing the two utility apps, then start by making sure the Colmac keyboard layout is the preferred keyboard layout. To do that, just press the Windows bar, go to the keyboard settings. Then what you do, you will have your preferred keyboard language. For most of us, it will be English United States. So you click on it, click on options, and then add a keyboard. Automatically, the Colmac keyboard will be here. So you add it here, and then it will be here. Then come back here and make sure the English United States is at the top. So let's say it was somewhere like this. What you do is bring it up so that it's at the top. Add another keyboard. Like for example, here we added United States. We added United Kingdom using the normal QWERTY keyboard. I'll show you why it's important to have a QWERTY keyboard as a second alternative later on. And that's just basically it. Right now, if you type using your computer, it will no longer be in QWERTY. It will be in Colmac layout. Okay. You realize one thing with the Colmac layout is that it's not truly Colmac. In the Colmac layout, the caps lock is usually changed to backspace. But in this case, the default Colmac layout from the colmac.com does not change the caps lock into backspace. So what we will have to do is we are going to use the Sharpkey utility. The Sharpkey utility allows you to map one key in your keyboard to a different key and vice versa, to switch over the Colmac, the caps lock key to the backspace key. So to do that, just say add, then click on type. So this is map this key. This is the key you want to change. In our case, we want to change caps lock. So you type it. We want to change it to backspace. And you click OK. Then you click write to registry, and it will ask you to restart your computer. Once you restart your computer, the caps lock key will have been marked to backspace. Well, once you've done that, you're basically done. You're now in Colmac. Now the next step will be, how do you teach yourself touch type using the Colmac keyboard layout? To learn how to touch type using the Colmac keyboard layout, the best tool I've found is an online tool called keybr.com. To change the keyboard layout, you click on the practice button, wait for it to load, click on the settings button at the top, keyboard, English, then change it to US Colmac. And here is your Colmac layout. Now, when you come to start practicing, your keyboard will be Colmac. So initially when you're starting out, it will be quite challenging to type. You'll make mistakes, you won't just feel it, but don't worry, stick with it. Within like a week of doing this, you will be a pro. Trust me, you will be able to type without looking at the keyboard like the way I'm doing right now. One big impediment to switching over to Colmac is the fact that when you're typing passwords, you will want to look down at the keyboard as you type the password. So initially when I switched over, what I did is that I looked for a normal USB keyboard, plucked out all the keys, and replaced them, arranging them using the QWERTY layout. But since then, I've found there's an even simpler way to do it. So here's what to do. Let's say you're touch typing, you don't have to look at your keyboard. Your keyboard is in Colmac layout. So you just type it. You want to type a password. What do? Press Windows and spacebar. See what it does? It changes over from Colmac to our second keyboard layout, which is the United Kingdom layout. Then you can look at your keyboard and type your password. That way, I find that much simpler. Like, you don't have to change. So install two keyboard layouts. Colmac on top, UK on bottom down. When you're touch typing, learning how to Colmac, or once you've perfected Colmac, you just touch type without looking. When you want to change your password, Windows and space, change over to the UK layout, type the password. When you're done typing the password, Windows, space, over to the Colmac, and just type it. So thank you. I know you'll switch over to Colmac and you'll type super fast, and in no time you'll be a pro. See you in the next video. Hello. In today's productivity lesson, we're going to talk about measuring. Measuring is very important in business and in life, especially in business. The father of modern business management, called Peter Drucker. There are several classical quotes from Peter Drucker on measurement. Example, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. What gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets done. And that's really true. Think about it. If you're not measuring what you're doing, if you're not measuring how you're spending your time, if you're not measuring how you're spending your money, how are you going to improve? So in this productivity lesson, we are largely concerned with maximizing your time, getting the most out of your time. And the only way to get the most out of your time is to measure how you're spending your time, is to know how you're spending your time. Well, lucky for you, I have the perfect tool to measure your time. Best of all, it's free. The tool is called Kanban Flow. It's a lean project management tool, and it's available online. Let's look at the pricing. The pricing, it's basically available for free, although you can pay $5 a month if you want. If you pay the $5, you're able to download statistics much more easily. You're able to download the statistics and data much more easily. But that's not the point. In this example, we're going to use the free version of the app. So let's hop straight to my Kanban tool. All you need to do to start using Kanban tool, click the sign up tab, fill your name, your password, your email, and boom, like that, you've created your email. Sorry, I already have a Kanban Flow account. So let's check out my account. So here's the Kanban Flow. Currently, I am recording videos for the Online Billionaire course, And that's why you see a timer running here behind. I've done it for 5 hours. The current session is 35 hours in. So if you to use Kanban flow, the first thing you do is you create a board. Give the board anything. Like, for example, you can call the board daily activities. This could, for example, be a board where you have stuff you do every day. So there are 3 columns. In one of the columns, in the to-do column, you list tasks you're going to do that particular day. In the do today, well, usually I don't prefer having this because you're going to be doing them every day. There's no need to have a do today column. So basically going to have a to-do column, in progress column, and done column. In progress, you set the maximum number of tasks you want to be in progress. Usually it's at most 3. You're just going to leave that at the default. Email, no, it's just yours. Then you create the board. Here it is. We've created our board. We have a to-do section, an in progress section, a done section. So what we do, let's create a few tasks. Let's say, what do you want to be doing every day? Every day we want to be exercising. Every day we want to meditate. Every day we want to, for example, wake up 4 a.m. So each time you want to do the task, let's say, okay, right now I want to meditate. You move this to the in progress section. Then you click on it, turn on the timer. You can use either the stopwatch or the Pomodoro timer. Usually I prefer, if I'm just starting out, I click the Pomodoro timer. So the Pomodoro timer counts down from 30 minutes all the way to 0. In another section of the paper, we talked about the Pomodoro section and the advantages of the Pomodoro timer. It prevents procrastination because you simply know, let me just do it for one Pomodoro. It's 30 minutes, just 30 minutes and I'm done. For now, let's stop it. You realize that it records the time you spent on the task. Like, for example, it has recorded that you've done meditation from 10:24 to 10:25. You can open the log. Here it is. As you continue, add more logs for the entire day. There are several ways you can set these up. For example, since you're going to be doing this task every day, you can set a deadline. I want to be doing this every day. By 5 p.m. I should be done with it, and I want to be repeating it daily. You can learn more about this on the help page of Kanban Flow tool. Let's look by that an example. Here is for this project. This project I've been working on is creating the website. And for example, I was changing the design of the website, and it took me a whole 21 hours. If you open the time log, you see it tells you on the 27th I spent 8 hours. On the 24th I spent 12 hours. So looking back, you can analyze and say, okay, on the 24th I was this productive. On the 27th I was less productive. Actually, in the next section, we're going to look at how you analyze it. And that's basically how to use the Kanban flow tool to measure your time. You create different boards for different activities. Like this coding board is for coding activities that I do at daily time. This Totalman codes for things like exercising, like working out. This reading board is helps me track the books I'm reading, what I'm reading, at what time I'm reading them. Each time I complete reading a book, I move it to the other side. So you can get really creative with it. It's the good thing with this is you know exactly how much time you spent on an activity. Trust me, using the Kanban Flow tool is a game changer. Thank you for listening. Hello. So in the previous section, we talked about the Kanban Flow tool and how you can use it to record your time. Obviously, if you just record the time and don't take time to analyze the data, it's pointless. You might as well not have collected it. So in this particular video, we're going to see how to analyze the data, how to get insights from the data, and how to use the insights you've gained to improve your life continuously. So we're basically going to use a simple spreadsheet software to analyze the tool. You can either use Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. Personally, I prefer Google Sheets because it's available online. You can access it from anywhere, from any computer, even if you don't have a local computer. And if your computer crashes, you basically still have your analysis. Here's the Google Sheet I use to analyze the data. On one section is listed the activities. All the activities I do are listed here. The dates are listed here. and the number of hours I've spent on that activity. So this particular spreadsheet template, whether I'll offer it in a link down below or at the end of this particular lesson, it's based on a technique called the 12-week year. The 12-week year is a book. I read a book some time ago by Brian P. Moran called The 12-Year Week. The entire argument of the book is that you can get more done by assuming that your year is just 12 weeks. So you sit down at the beginning with the first 12 weeks and you say, you know what, here's what I want to achieve by the end of these 12 weeks. I want to achieve this, 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 this. Then each week, at the end of the 12 weeks, you close the year, you start a new year. So basically, here's what I usually do. I create one spreadsheet. This spreadsheet, I use it, I record the data for 12 weeks. Once I'm done with the 12 weeks, I create another entirely new spreadsheet and start my next year. Like currently I'm in year 2. It's just a technique that I've learned recently and I'm going to keep it up. Okay, so let's take one example. We're going to take the example of meditation. We want to look at meditation. We want to record the data and draw insights from it. So let's go back to our Kanban flow tool. I'm in the board called Totalman, which is a board that basically has activities I do on a daily basis. So here, once I'm done with a task, you move it to the done column. And like this, if I move it to the done column, it repeats itself because I've put it on repeat. No problem. So here's the deal. You go to the done column and look at what I've basically been doing. So let's take, for example, the 2nd November. That was a few weeks ago. Come here, open the timer, click the time log. Shows you that on 2nd November, between 12:36 p.m. and when it was 6 p.m., I did meditation. So what do? Come back to my Google Sheet, meditation, and I look for 2nd November. And I basically say, meditation this week, I did 0.5, half an hour. And then what I do, I record, I go step by step for that particular week, recording each activity I did and how long it took me. All the way from did I wake up that day, did I meditate that day, how long did I work on my project, did I do some software development, I record all of them. Then I add up and realize, oh, this day I worked only for 3 hours. This day I worked only for 8 hours. This day, of course, you can see I'm still not perfect. I'm struggling. My goal is to eventually be able to consistently work for 10 hours. This day I did for that. Then that's the end of the week. Let's say this was week 5. Then here I add up for this week. How many times did I wake up? At 4 a.m. I woke up once. This week, how many hours did I spend on meditation? On this week, I have the totals here, and then I have a target. So my target is to wake up 7/7. I know I still need to work on this because my target was 7/7. Yet I only did one. I only woke up 1 out of 7. Then I realized, meditation. I'm doing quite good in meditation. It was 1.5. Oh, exercise. I even over exercise. I'm supposed to exercise for 10.5 weeks an hour, and now I did this. So I go that way troubleshooting, realizing, this one, my target was to work for 48 hours, but I only work for 19. I need to work. Then this other column, I compare it to last week. So this total hours compared to last week, what has happened? I am worse at meditation by 1. I improved my exercise. I improved on the project. I worked 2 hours more on the project. Then now I write notes on what I want to improve. Here's the deal. Well, I need to take waking up more seriously. So I'm going to rehearse it before I sleep. I'm going to rehearse, for example, waking up. This time I ate a lot of junk this week. I'm going to reduce it. So I'm using this data and this insight to come up with ideas on how to improve myself, on how to make myself better that way and that way. Then I start the next week implementing those. How did it go? Did I improve? Did I not improve? That way, slowly, consistently. Over time, you realize as you do this project, you come up with ideas, just flashes of ideas on how to improve your life, how to make things better. So, improving is slowly, progressively. till you become the best version of yourself. Well, I wish you all the best as you become the best version of yourself. And by the way, this template will be available in a link below. Thank you. Hello. So in this video, we're going to learn how to set up our Audible on a budget. So there are 3 tools we need to set up our Audible on a budget: Google Text-to-Speech Engine, Voice Aloud, and Easy PDF Reader. Let's go ahead straight to Play Store and download the 3 apps. So we'll start with Google TTS. As you can see, it's already installed. If in your case it's not installed, just click install and it will be installed. The next app is an app called Voice Aloud. Voice Aloud Reader. Here it is. Installed. If it's not installed, it will be installed. As you can see, by the way, at Voice Aloud, there are several apps related to Voice Aloud, created by the sellers of Voice Aloud. This includes a tool to crop the PDF, a premium app to remove the ads, and several other apps. There's even an app that allows you to access copyright-free books. The last app is Easy PDF Reader. So this app, there's a trial version app that you can install first. It's available for free for 30 days. Then after that, you'll have a specific amount to purchase the full version. Okay, so I'll tell you more in a bit why you need both Voice Aloud and Easy PDF Reader, and why in some instances you may just be fine downloading Voice Aloud. So let's open Voice Aloud. Here it is. You want to open a book using Voice Aloud. Click here. Navigate to where your book is. For example, this time around I want to read this book called Spam Wars, Infidelity, Sexual Conflict, and Other Bedroom Matters. But it's an awesome book. You should totally read it. I open the file, and the goodness with this app is that it processes the ebook. It removes the page numbers, the pages, the titles, so that when it's being read, it just flows smoothly, no hurry. So let me tell you something about Voice Aloud. The good thing with it is that you can adjust the reading speed all the way from slow all the way to ×4. So for example, let's see when it's really slow.
Sperm Wars final score. Life. He could remember only one fate.
Now this is
Once
normal
again,
speed.
the old woman smiled her one-tooth smile.
This is
Deep in her stomach.
speed.
Deep in her stomach, the pain that was now her constant companion was temporarily eclipsed by the sheer pleasure of...
Personally, I am able to listen to audiobooks at 3.85 times normal speed comfortably. And this did not happen at once. So I slowly started listening at normal speed, increased it to 2, increased it to 3, and now it's 3.85. You also should do the same. Start slowly. Start at normal speed, move to 2, move to 3.85, and soon. The advantage with listening to audiobooks with a fast pace is that you'll be able to go through books at an alarming rate. You can read 10 books. You can read a book a day, 2 books a day, easily. So this allows you to get more information. Trust me, I know that speed sounds fast, but it's actually, I can listen to it normally. Okay, so the other app, Easy PDF. Why do you need Easy PDF whilst you already have Voice Aloud? So Easy PDF, you need Easy PDF because Easy PDF is able to read large books, reference book materials. So Voice Aloud is ideal for small books, self-help books, anywhere between 0 to 500 page books. But when you get into 10,000 page books, it won't work. The processing just takes too long and it's too slow. So this Easy PDF does not process the files. It's just there. So for example, I bought the Easy PDF because there's a medical course I'm taking, and from time to time I have to read huge reference medical books. Like this page is like 10,000 pages long. So in this case, I open it. It's just normal the way it is. Tap here at voice and it starts reading. Similarly here, you get to play around with the speed. So it's a very high speed. I started listening at a slow rate, and I was slowly able to ramp up the speed to this level right now. Hello, in this video course, we're going to talk about blocking distractions. One of the most serious time sinks is goofing around online. I, for example, find myself from time to time online, just on a wide variety of websites, doing really nothing. Maybe on WhatsApp for like an hour or two. Okay, I agree. There's really nothing wrong with visiting Facebook, with seeing how your friends are doing, but you should only do so when you're not working. When you mix goofing around, watching things with work, trust me, my friend, you won't do much. So it happened to me one day. I decided, you know what? Damn it, I am done goofing around, wasting time browsing websites online. So I looked up and I found the perfect solution to block distractions on the website or online. The app is called the Cold Turkey app. This app will block all distractions. It's a real game changer. So let me show you how to use the Cold Turkey app. So first of all, go to getcoldturkey.com, click the download button, and get your free copy of the Cold Turkey app. Once it's done downloading, just double click to install. Trust, I know you know how to install an app, so I won't go into that. Now let's open the Cold Turkey app and let me show you how to set it up. Let me show you the magic of Cold Turkey. Okay, here it is. Here's the Cold Turkey app. So the first thing, once you get your Cold Turkey app, you go to blocks and add a new block of websites you want to block. So for example, I have this real trouble with car websites. From time to time, I find myself browsing car websites, being on them, not doing anything productive. Once you've opened the block, add a new block, add the websites you want to block. So for example, a car website called MotorTrend. This is a serious time sink. From time to time, I find myself here viewing cars, watching how's the latest Porsche looking, how's the latest tractor looking, how's the latest Raptor looking. Well, in reality, looking at the photo of a car is never ever going to help me buy a car. What I need is to work hard, get the money, and just go and buy the car. So here's the deal. I want to block motortrend.com. Add to this list of blocked websites. Then you continue, look for other websites that you want to block, add them. Then you say save as. Then you like the name of the block. For this, for example, I'm going to call it block car websites. And I'm going to save the block. So here's our new block. So the goodness of Cold Turkey is that it gives you the ability to premeditatively decide, this is what I want to block, this is what I want to block. So we can, for example, here. So in this way, it's written continuous block. If I turn it on, it will block it all the time. But now I don't want that. I want to be able to view my car websites, let's say when I'm not working. I want to be able to visit Facebook when I'm not working. So I click on the continuous block menu and it gives you an option. Continuously block this list or block this list according to the schedule. Well, I want to block this list according to the schedule. So Monday between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. that is working time. I don't want to be able to visit these websites. On other times I can, but these other times I don't want. So you can right click on this and apply changes and copy to it across Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday through Friday. I don't want, this is work time, no distractions from such and such websites. And you click save. Whenever you want to visit a website you blocked, whenever you want to visit that website, Cold Turkey blocks the website and it says you've quit this website, Cold Turkey. So there's literally no way for you to access this website, no matter what you do. Even if you change the time, even if you go into incognito mode, like there's nothing you can do to access this website. And that's what I love about Cold Turkey. Set it, set the time you don't want to be distracted. Cold Turkey app is going to take your productivity to the next level. Some of the features that you're seeing here from the Cold Turkey app are really available in the Pro version, like scheduling blocks. So you can use the free version. The free version is still pretty strong, But if you really want to get the full set of features, you might have to buy the full version. It only costs $39 for a lifetime. So this thing has literally saved me hours and hours and hours that I would have otherwise spent wasted. So guys, that's it about cold turkey. Thank you for listening. I want to congratulate you for completing the Productivity Pack course. Since I applied the principles I taught you in the course, my life has changed for the better. Apply what you learned, and your life will never be the same again. You will achieve all those goals you gave up on with an ease that will shock you. A quick note on the promised updates. When you purchase the Productivity Pack course, I promised a lifetime of updates. I intend to keep my end of the bargain. In the near future, I'll be converting the entire course to video format for a more immersive learning experience. If there's any section you feel needs to be improved or something you struggled with, please tell me about it in the comment section. If there's any section of the course you enjoyed, comment about it and leave a review. I command you to go forth and be productive. Thank you.